And y'all know what's worse than people believing that it's devils in the Bible? Is that people believe in fallen angels from the Bible. And we're going to discuss that. Now, folks, all of this foolishness comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 6, where they talk about the sons of God impregnating human women. Now, our modern Bible translations have translated this word into Nephilim, which is supposed to mean the fallen angels or these sons of God who came and impregnated the women after the Lucifer rebellion. Now, in the previous video, I already discussed this Lucifer name and the fallen angel thing, so you can refer back to that. But we're going to stay on topic. Now, the first time the Bible was translated was into the Greek Septuagint, and they followed more keenly to the Hebrew than the King James Bible. In this translation, in the same verse, in Genesis 6:2, it say, the sons of the nobles saw the daughters of man, and they took wives. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and afterwards, when the sons of the nobles would come to the daughters of man, and they would bear for them, they were the mighty men who were the men of renown. Now, let's dig into this Nephilim situation, and let's see what the root word of this is. The same way that they changed the nobles to sons of God, let's see. So now they decide to change the word Nephilim to giants. I mean, man, this shit gotta stop sometime. The word that they use for Nephilim comes from Nephal. Now, this same language was used in Ezekiel 32:27, when it talked about, do not lie with the mighty men who are fallen of the uncircumcised. I mean, you can look in many different translations and it'll say fallen of the uncircumcised. What does fallen of the uncircumcised signify? If we observe what I have highlighted in this red writing, it says, but the punishment of their wrongdoings rested on their bones, though the terror of these heroes was once in the land of the living. The whole idea in Genesis was that the sons of these nobles fell from the law. They became corrupt and tyrants, and they went and took women and produced children from them, and their offspring became corrupt. And this is why God decided to bring the flood in the first place. But the idea of God impregnating women and creating warriors of men with special powers is purely Greek Hellenization. When the Roman Church decided to take over religion, all of the stories got presented in a Greek format. I mean, they even crafted their own stories like Hercules. But unlike Samson, Hercules' father was Zeus. And this is why when you get to the Virgin Mary, she is impregnated by God or the Holy Spirit. It's just like Ezekiel 28, when they go to preaching about how Satan was the most beautiful angel and he was this chief musician. All of this is misconstrued from the book of Ezekiel when it starts talking about the king of Tyre. And it's speaking about the king of Tyre in the same figurative language that they were speaking in Isaiah when they was talking about Lucifer. At the beginning of the chapter, it's highlighted in some Bibles, a prophecy against the king of Tyre. In the pride of your heart, you say, I am God. I sit on the throne of God in the heart of the seas. It's the same thing that he said to the king of Babylon in Isaiah 14. But what the church would do is conflate both of those books and put them together, and somehow they come out with this Lucifer story. There is no story in the Old Testament or the Tanakh about Satan being kicked out of heaven. The Greeks invented one in the New Testament by taking this one out of context. And I mean, there is no story taken in the proper context in the Old Testament about no fallen angels, no Satan being kicked out of heaven, or none of that. Nubian Roots, man. 100.